What are you trying to manifest into your life right now? By the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to make it simple. And after watching this video, you're going to completely change your concept on manifesting. You're going to know how to visualize, affirm, and create whatever you desire, no matter what's going on in your life right now. I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to make that thing a reality sooner rather than later. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Mindy, and I help soul led women break through limiting beliefs and emotional blocks so they can manifest the life that they absolutely love. So I want you to ask yourself 2 powerful questions, keeping in mind that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask, because our brains are wired to always be looking for a solution. Trust me when I tell you, your brain is going to try to find the answers to these 2 questions. The first question is, what would you be doing differently in your life right now if you had that thing or if you were having that experience? The second question, what is not having that thing or not experiencing that thing costing you? What is it keeping you from doing right now in your life? The second step is, after you have those answers, you want to start visualizing and affirming that you're living that life right now. For instance, maybe it's a dream to have financial freedom. And one of the things that you would do if you had financial freedom, you would travel to Italy and you'd stay there for a month, maybe traveling all over, going to wine country, the Amalfi Coast, the Alps, and you visualize yourself doing all these things. But while you're there, there's money coming into your bank account because now you have financial freedom and time freedom. You're visualizing yourself, and this isn't a static picture. You want to grab a moment in time and visualize yourself living that life in that reality. So let's say that you're sitting on the Amalfi Coast, you're in a beautiful cafe, you can smell the Italian food, you can hear the Italians arguing in the kitchen, you hear the tourists walking by, you see the beautiful blue sea in front of you, the white sails of the boats. Imagine everything about that moment in time. Who are you with? What was the conversation? Can you hear the tourists walking by? Can you feel the salt air on your skin and the sun? You really want to bring in those 5 senses and make that a snapshot in time that you can use a couple of times a day. You'll want to set an alarm on your phone to remind yourself to step into that vision. And as I said in this video right here, you're going to want to use the SATS method from Neville Goddard, where just as you're falling asleep, you're stepping into that vision. So it's a state akin to sleep. That's what we're going for. And it's actually, now they know in modern terms, your beta, delta, theta waves, you're going down in those waves to that point where you're just really drowsy and you're almost asleep, but you're still awake. That's the magic moment right there. And so you want to do it just as you're falling asleep, and you want to do it first thing in the morning before your brain is fully awake and you're thinking about all the problems that you have. So maybe it's a health problem that you're dealing with. What would that look like? So again, ask yourself that question. What would I be doing right now if I had the health that I've been dreaming of? I've got this vitality, I've got energy, my body is the perfect weight, my muscles are firm. What would your body look like? What would you be doing? Would you be working out? Would you be riding a bike? Would you be walking around a little village in Italy? What would it look like? Now imagine yourself living in that reality right now. Imagine what it feels like to have energy, to have vitality, to be having these amazing conversations. So you see how asking those 2 questions can help you step into that visualization and begin to affirm, what does life look like now that I'm living that, now that I'm living in that reality? The third step is to remove the mental blocks and distractions that may be keeping you from doing your visualization. Now, trust me, I suffer from a little ADD and I didn't know it until I was in my 50s. I had to learn how to work around a brain that I swear is like a pinball machine that's just knocking that little silver ball back and forth. If you remember those old fashioned machines, that's what my thoughts feel like sometimes. These are tools that I use in my own life, and they've helped me build a 6-figure business. They've helped me manifest a house in Costa Rica, and I promise you they're going to help you as well. So we're removing those things that distract us from our visualization, from focusing on the thing that we're trying to bring into our life. Maybe those things that bring instant gratification, but they don't really serve you in any way. Social media. Maybe you don't completely remove it, but you limit the amount of time that you spend on it. If it's video gaming, same thing. There are some things that we just have to walk away from for a short period of time because they weaken our attention and our ability to focus. We're removing distractions so that we can build a strong habit of using visualization and affirmations. You want to set an alarm on your phone a couple times during the day so that you remember to do your visualization. So you remember to go to Italy in your mind, or if it's health, you're setting that alarm so that you're stepping into the feeling of the vitality that you now have. We're temporarily removing the distractions so that we can build that strong foundation of using visualization and affirmations to step into that moment in time. This is so important. You want to build a strong foundation of being in that moment, and it's not a static picture. This is a moment in time when you're actually living that life. You can see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, smell it, like you are in it. Even if it's just for 1 minute, 3 times during the day, and then bring in that SATS method that I talked about in this video right here from Neville Goddard. That stands for a state akin to sleep. Just as you're falling asleep, now know from science that your brain is just getting into a deeper, more focused state where you're in between this 3D world that we live in and the 5D world, or the quantum field. You want to use that SATS method just as you're falling asleep at night. And again, first thing in the morning before your brain is fully into the day and you're already solving the problems or worried about money or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Fourth step is to train your brain to stay focused. Now, I know this one can be hard, especially for those of you who may have a little ADD or whatever it is that's going on. Maybe it's just all the noise in the world right now because there's a lot of it. Or you have a house full of kids, or you have a job that takes everything that you have. Training our mind to stay focused is so important. So we want to start these visualization practices. I highly recommend using guided meditation. You could join my free school community where we are starting a 14-day manifestation challenge next week on March 17th. So if you're watching this video later, it's going to stay up and you can do that at any time. So the fifth step is stepping into that version of yourself constantly. And I know it's hard to do because I coach this stuff and I try and live this as well. We're always going to have a bigger goal that we're going for. But if you're constantly imagining and affirming that you're living that life. So let's say that you got a beater car and you go get into your beater car, but now, whatever car you're dreaming of, you're imagining yourself driving down the road and you're in that car. You're listening to the music in that car. Maybe you're driving your friends around in your mind in that car. So we're constantly imagining and affirming that this is our life right now. And we're living in that new reality 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether it's true or not. We're living in it in our mind because everything is created twice, first in our mind, then in reality. So we have to get used to living in this new reality, even if it's not quite showing itself in the 3D world. And once you're in that new state, the new version of you is not going to go back to doom scrolling on social media or getting distracted on things that really don't matter to you or change your life in any way. That new version of you, she's a badass. Like, she is a powerful, soul-led woman who's making a difference in the world. She does not get distracted with all that stuff. So now it's time to get to work. Become the amazing, soul-led, powerful person that you were meant to be. Start changing your life and someone else's life. Believe it or not, when you start to change, everyone around you changes.